Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Irfan by Hilmi, and my supervisor is Professor MADYA Technology Dr. FAZLI Abdul Manan. My co-supervisor NASROL bin Mansor, and I will present about my final year project is about Swiftwater Training Center. This topic is more on the water flow simulations. So here are my table of contents. I will present about the 8 subtopic. For the first subtopic, I will present about the project summary. Okay, for your information, this project is based on the actual project inspired by my company, which is a music company. So this training center is prepared for the firefighter to make a simulation to rescue drowning victims. Okay, the next one, the training place will be equipped with a water head technology that can be changed according to the suitability when the firefighters make a training that is using the hydraulic pump. When the water flow and the barrier we place in the stairway of the water flow, it will create the helix and the eddy flow, and to identify the critical point to make suitable equipment to rescue the victims. And then the analysis of the flow will be using the ANSYS fluent and the CATIA for the design. For this project is the one of the biggest. This project is to make the rescue drills without endangering their own life while training. The second one is to study the low head dam is the most deadly form of the dam because of the strong circular of water. Next is about the advanced technology. So we are in the advanced technology. So it's able to help the firefighter to make a training by the manipulating the speed of the water. For the next subtopic is about the problem statement. So as we can see here, there are three problem statements here. The first one is the lack of the knowledge to identify the dangerous areas in the water, such as a low depth, water heads, and the sudden strong currents. The next one is the project has never made a simulation in 3D. The IR also informed that this project never made 3D simulations. The third one is that there is no training center for this firefighter to get to train. So to overcome the problem, so I have the objective here for this project. So to overcome the three problems here, so we have the three objectives here. The first one is to model a small scale of the training field that can manipulate the speed of the water, to provide exposure and how to use the rescue equipment in certain place. And the last one is to analyze the critical spot for the water flow using the ANSYS fluent in 3D instead of using the 2D. The next one is about the scope and the limitations. Okay, for the scope and the limitation for this project is more focusing on how to produce a water flow in 3D simulations by using the ANSYS software, and the design and the scale of the project cannot be disclosed due to the company confidential. Therefore, the design provide is on an independent scale and focus on the flow simulation. Since these projects have not been using the 3D simulation yet, there are limitations in the process of the creating 2D and 3D simulations because of the ANSYS fluent student up to 2021 software blocks the some feature that I cannot use. The next topic is about the literature review. The first literature review of the low head dams. So I summarize all the journal is to make analyze of the low head dams, the impacts of the low dam. The low head dam is very dangerous. It also impact the sediment of the nature because of the circular of water is too strong. The next one is about the circular of the water flow. I make some research about the water flow. So the circular of the water will change if there is a resistance of the wave absorber surface. Moreover, based on the journal here, the eddy flow depends on the Reynolds. So the large eddy simulation can be make with the high Reynolds number application in the scenario due to the stringent grid resolution requirements. And then this also can be solved by using the theoretical method, is by using the formula of the Navier-Stokes equations. But for this project, I will be using the ANSYS Fluent to make a simulation. It will be automatic calculate. Okay, the last one for the literature review I can summarize is about the software for analyze the water flow. So here it's mentioned that we can use the Fluent, so maybe it can be used the ANSYS Fluent. So this, and also the simulation accuracy is determined by the turbulence model employed and the mesh the solution analyzed to depict place in the surface turbulent intensity. So here I need to set up the project to make a simulation to get a precise and accurate data for the simulations. It, it have been confirmed by the journal here. The next topic is about the methodology. So here I'm using the ANSYS Fluent to collect the data and to get the result. So before I using the ANSYS Fluent, I been make some study and research about another software which is the Sine Flow 3D. But some of the limitation because of the price, so I'm using the ANSYS Fluent. So the first one is, as we can see in this slide, I'm using I present about the flowchart of the simulations, how to get the data. So the first one, the data collection, is about the first step of the project. For example, it's about identify the problems, identify the design of the project. Okay, then next one is computational geometry. So in this case, I have no problem because I create a design in the CATIA and then save and then import the design from the CATIA into the ANSYS, and then I make some mesh up. And then here I have the problem why I set up the solver, which is I could not use a complex design to make and to analyze the flow because of the limitation of the software I'm using is about the student software. So I have a problem here. So the result analysis I can give the expected result and some simple design I can get that I have made by using the practice as a practice. So in this slide we can see that the simple design in 2D and the failure I cure. The 2D I can make a simple design for these simulations, but it's considered 12 hours to render all this flow for the simple design and for the simple flow. I made this as a practice for me, and then I make a 3D, and then the failure occur because of the limitation of the software, so I could not run and render of the flow and the simulations. So expected result, as we can see the next slide. So let's go for the expected result after the methodology. Okay, in this slide, I made a simple design for the 3D flow simulation since I already asked for the real prototype and the real design for the projects. Since because of the confidential, they could not give the real prototype and the real design for the project. So I made a simple design for this project since they asked me to make a 3D simulation for this project since they already done for the 2D simulations. So here I create a simple design for 3D simulations. I put here the barrier at the corner for the water flow to hit the barrier at the corner. And then here, as we can see that the low dam I create, and after that it will be create. It will be hits the barrier. As we can see in this slide, it's about my expected result for me and the preliminary result if success. So as we can see in this slide, I already made a study. We can generate the data by look at the indicators, the color indicator of the water, and the one is can produce automatic calculation in the ANSYS software by the setting up the calculation and the animation of the simulations. So for the upcoming semester, I will try hook or by crook to get the final result for this simulation and to fulfill the company request. Thank you.